guess it's not super important for you to see my face. So I'm gonna go through this flow, but it's gonna be, you can stretch it out as long as you want. So with the yin style poses, you can hold them for 3 to 5 minutes, not breaths. But you do what feels best in your body. So this is a wonderful time for us to go deep within our bodies and kind of understand how they feel instead of go, go, go. So use that. So just trust yourself. So you can kind of start off if you want. Just a seat and get a nice tall spine. Just take a few deep breaths. Just kind of start to feel into your body. Sometimes it feels good just to do little Sufi grinds, they call them. Kind of inhaling forward and then exhaling back as many times as you want, and then switching directions. And even this right here feels good for me in my hips. I'm just kind of opening them. And you can do a seated forward fold. This can be as wide as you want. I like to start with a tall spine and then start to walk my hands forward. And remembering to breathe, and then I come down on my forearms. I always try and keep length in the spine. You can absolutely round the spine when you want to. I like to flex my feet and then let them go. Just kind of feeling into the hips. And you can even come up, and again, you can hold that for as long as you want. You can bring props in. Just start moving from side to side. Opening up the side body. You can hold these as long as you want also. I like to kind of ground my hips down to reach the arms up and over. And then you can kind of carefully move around. Come up. So some women don't like inversions during their period. I generally don't. This one doesn't bother me. So I like to open up my hips this way. Bring in the core, and then come down for pigeon pose. If you're feeling like you're like this, go ahead and prop that hip. This one can also be done on your back if you just really don't like to put that much pressure on your hip. Make sure this foot doesn't sickle inward. And then coming down, and again, this isn't one that has to be static. You can stay up, you can move around, you can hold it for the 3 to 5 breaths. Kind of letting the hip open. And then what I did was I kind of flipped around. I guess for the camera's sake, you can't see it that well. But I flipped around and did a Janu Shirshasana, or just a forward fold, getting into the hamstrings. And I always try and keep this knee down, but this one comes up a little bit. Don't worry about it. Don't force anything. And you can even take it out to the side. This might be a little bit easier than the one before. And then I like to put my hand down, come up, pressing in to that foot on the extended leg, and then coming back down and just kind of creating a little bit of a flow with it. All right. You can even come forward with this one and then move into the other side. Do that whole thing all over again. This one feels really good to me. You can do this one on your back as well. So you can decide what feels good if you lay down. This morning I put my arms overhead. Some people don't like that. You can even put props under the knees if this is too intense. But for my back, sometimes just simply coming forward. It feels really good in this one. As my lower back does get really painful during this time. And then from there, you can even just come up to a little goddess squat. This really supports that downward flow of energy. I don't like doing headstands or anything like that when I'm on my period. I just don't feel right about it. Some people are fine with it, and don't worry about it if you do like to do that. It's not that you're wrong. Everybody has their own experience. And then this actually felt really good today. You can come up onto the forearms. You can start there And then I did bow pose, but I did it with my knees down. Like I didn't lift them up like normal. And actually that felt really good. So I just kicked into my hands and I pulled my hands onto my heels. And I just lifted my chest up. And that felt really good for opening up my shoulders. Kind of keep the gaze up. You don't have to look up. And then you come back. And I just went right into child's pose and held it. Other things that can feel really good, just lying down. Arms extended and then taking the knees to the right and the left. Maybe taking some twists. I have no room here. I also found that this dragon pose, right? This one's really intense. Felt really good. Taking the hands on the inside, good place for a block. Take that right foot out or as much as you want. And that one felt really good too. But all in all, trust your body. Those are just some of the things that work for me. You can let me know what you think in the comments. I live in a neighborhood. Neighbors are coming home. Oh, sorry. Have a beautiful day.